tell me a little bit about your story and how breast cancer affects you personally.
Okay.
And then we'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay.
1, 3, 1, 2, go.
Good evening and welcome to the Pink Table Talk. I'm your host, Dita Johnson, and my guest for this evening is Jolynn Hawken. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to be here.
So, just a little bit of backstory about how the two of us became acquainted and why I thought that it would be great for her to have a seat at the table is because we met in our shared experiences through the American Cancer Society. I participated with my son, whom is now 10, but at the time of our first introduction, he was literally in a stroller and we were participating in the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk. I decided that our venture into working with the Cancer Society would be more of a give back, and in that respect, we volunteered in the survivor tent. He would pass out the roses to the survivors as they finished, and I would greet them with the things that were in the tent, whether it be the giveaways that were there or just a hug or a conversation, whatever was needed at the time. Continuing on, we crossed paths in other ways, and I thought that it would be a wonderful opportunity to have Lynn as a guest today. So thank you for joining me once again.
Thank you.
So I'd like to know if you could please share with me a little bit about your own personal journey and story as it pertains to breast cancer awareness.
In 2010, I had lost a sister to small cell lung cancer at the beginning of the year. It was devastating for my whole family.
So sorry.
It took a long time for us to heal emotionally and physically, and a few months after she had passed, I was feeling really run down, and I thought it was just stress from all that. But I was tired all the time. I just felt horrible. I saw a doctor. They said I had major vitamin D deficiency, so I was taking major doses of vitamin D, but I just wasn't feeling good. Still wasn't feeling good, and I was sitting at my desk at work one day because I just had this horrible pain on the right side of my chest, and I remember like grasping my chest, like thinking I couldn't catch my breath, and I felt a lump. And I had it checked out, and after lots of testing and seeing doctors and an ultrasound and a mammogram, it was discovered that I had a tumor in my right breast. And I was diagnosed on September 30th of 2010 at exactly 3:55 p.m. I will never forget the date. I will never forget the time. I will never forget what the room looked like. And everything was kind of a whirlwind from there. I had a biopsy right away. Had other testing, ended up having a bilateral mastectomy, and then chemo right after that. Everything happened like so quickly. Like I had time to think about it, but I didn't have time to think about it, which was actually probably better for me. But my cancer was aggressive, so it was a blessing that all these things did happen at once. But now I'm a 10-year survivor, so I'm very, very grateful because my diagnosis was pretty significant. I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, and then after genetic testing, I found out I had the BRCA1 gene as well. So that's another reason why I went through a lot of radical treatment to make sure that I'm still here today. So I'm very grateful. So.
Well, I mean, just personally for me, like I'm humble and grateful that you're here. I'm extremely glad that we came at some point within our walks of life and began to know one another. It just humbles me the things that I have been fortunate to see you do with just your own personal space and how you're handling everything. And it's just a pleasure to call you my friend.
I feel the same way.
So we will begin our conversation with our first question of the evening. How did you become involved with breast cancer awareness and the work that you do, meaning from the volunteerism and the give back that you do?
When I was in my early 20s, one of my sisters, her name was Melody, was diagnosed with breast cancer. My family had dealt with cancer with other relatives. I had a grandfather that passed when I was in 8th grade. I had an aunt and uncle who had gone through cancer and some cousins. But my sister and I were really close at the time, and it was very difficult for me. And she was not the type that she wanted to talk about it, but she was a very strong, independent person, and she kind of dealt with her treatment on her own. But I wanted to do something to show support, and I was seeing an allergist at the time. I was getting like allergy shots, and I was sitting in the allergy clinic, and I saw a posting at the desk, and it talked about the Making Strides walk, and it said, join a team, or create a team, join a team. We need volunteers. And so I called them and I said, I'd like to volunteer if I can. And they said, oh, that's wonderful. What do you want to do? I'm like, wherever you need the most help. And they said I would be a cheerleader. So people along the walk route, you're supposed to cheer them on. And so I did that for the first year, and it was a very humbling experience to see survivors, see people wearing shirts in memory of. It was a very emotional time an experience to see all that. So I said, every year I want to continue to do this. I want to show support, and they eventually changed my position from cheerleader to working at the merchandise tent. And as I was a volunteer in the merchandise tent for one of the years, I got a letter from them asking if I wanted to be on the committee for the walk. And I said, of course. And so there was a large group of us ladies who met. I was actually at the Reinhardt Law Office, which is downtown, because they were one of the biggest sponsors there. And we started meeting, and we were kind of in charge of figuring out who was running which tents and this and that. And I for a few years did run the merchandise tent. And also during my experience with that, another sister, my sister Gloria, had developed breast cancer as well. So I'm like, I just wanted to keep giving back as much as I could. And then also during the time that I was on the committee was when I was diagnosed. And our committee, we weren't just a committee for an event that we were all passionate about. We all became very good friends. And I will get emotional. The women on the committee, the minute they found out I had cancer, said, what is your chemo schedule? And the minute I gave it to them, they all wrote down dates that they were going to be my chemo buddy. They were going to pick me up, sit with me during the treatment, and that's what they did. And one of them, her name is Patty, and she has been, they all are an inspiration to me, but Patty had gone through her breast cancer experience a year ahead of me. And we had the same treatment team. And so the day she took me to chemo, I was sitting there, and one of the nurses said to her, "Happy birthday, Patty." And I was just like, "You took me on your birthday?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm paying it forward. I wanted to do this for you." And that just aside from all of those women just being an incredible rock for me, aside from family and friends and coworkers and just people I met along my journey, that just stuck out to me. And I vowed that if I could at least make it to my 5-year anniversary, I was gonna figure out a way to pay it forward. I mean, up to the 5-year, I would try to, I still continued to volunteer and stuff, but I said if I made it to that pivotal 5-year anniversary, every year on my anniversary date, I was gonna pay it forward to a person or organization or somebody or something to show that you're not in your fight alone. And so that it just kind of went from there. I still volunteer with the American Cancer Society. They do not have a committee anymore. Unfortunately, this year I didn't really help out because of the COVID situation and some other things, but I'm still a very strong supporter. It's always an organization that will be near and dear to my heart and something that's needed.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. So you talked a little bit about paying it forward, and you and I share social media space together as Facebook friends, and one of the things that we'd like to talk about now and to transition into is the aspect of paying it forward and how you do that. I recently had the opportunity to contribute to your Pay It Forward campaign. Is it possible that you could share a little bit about that journey and how that went?
Yeah, when I did reach my 5-year anniversary date, I was trying to be creative with the Pay It Forward, and again, when my friends, committee members from the Making Strides Walk took me to chemo, afterwards to thank them, we'd go out to dinner, I'd take them out to eat.
Aww.
But also too, it was like a celebration. I made it through chemo, celebrate that I had the support, and also I knew in a few days food would not be my friend. So we would pick a place to go and, just have a normal conversation. You would forget the fact that you just left the cancer clinic and had gotten chemo. It was just friends going out to lunch.
Yes.
And so I decided for my 5-year anniversary, I asked people, friends, family, hit social media, that if you mail me a gift card worth $5 for an area restaurant, I would like to give the gift cards to my cancer clinic so other patients know that somebody's thinking of them, and for them to reward themselves for getting through a treatment, getting through an appointment, and just kind of treating themselves because they deserve it. And so it took off like wildfire. I had actually was sent over $2,000 worth of gift cards.
That's amazing.
And so I ended up dividing the gift cards in between my oncology office and my surgeon's office. And it just felt good, and it felt good for other people to know how much support I had, and to let other people know that even if somebody doesn't know you, they're fighting with you. And so, but since then, I've done work for collectively to combat, one year we did a walk as a group for the American Lung Association because I had a sister, the sister who passed the same year I was diagnosed. She had small cell lung cancer. My mom had lung disease, and she did have a tumor in her lung when she passed. I also have bad allergies and asthma, and I have a niece with like severe asthma. So that was one year we gave back to them. I have some great nieces and nephews that are on the autism spectrum. So one year, we collectively gave money to the Autism Society. And then another cancer organization that I volunteer with, which is This Time Tomorrow Foundation. It's actually a local organization. I learned about them about 3 years ago during the time I was trying to find a Pay It Forward organization. And they combine music and passion to help people battling cancer. The foundation is all volunteers, and what they do is they raise money to provide love and support and financial assistance to people battling cancer. And what you do is you go on their website and you nominate someone for what they call a random act of kindness. And if they are chosen, the recipient gets a little like gift bag of like a t-shirt and some CDs, because the foundation was actually created off a song called This Time Tomorrow. The founder's name is Corey Zimmerman.
Okay.
He created the song for a friend, and it took off from there. And they also receive a check for $3,000 that they can spend however they want, if they want it for treatments or take a trip or whatever. And I raised money for them for one of my Pay It Forward anniversary dates, and I've been volunteering with them ever since. And they've actually, people who are personally close to me, some of their family members have become recipients. And it's a foundation that's kind of been my biggest payback to people battling cancer, is working through that organization, because there's just, the minute I met some of the board members, I just knew that they have the same passion as I do, is to show love and support to people who need it most. And every time I'm with them, every time I volunteer with them, I just feel the love and support, and it feels good. It feels good, and it's just, I mean, it stinks that we all have to work together to support people going through cancer, but it feels good to know that, you know, that there are people out there that care. Even if they don't know you personally, they care about you, and they want to help you fight, and they want to be a positive support for you.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. It hits here. So I'd like to thank you for joining us at the Pink Table Talk and being my guest this evening. And thank you for joining us as well. And we look forward to, and then I forgot, am I supposed to start with the website again, since we did that yesterday, or should I just say like?
I forgot to say the 10-year stuff.
I know, I'm trying to
I'm
remember.
going to talk about my 10-year thing this year, though.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Okay. And roll it back. So, is there anything else that you would like to share with us before we wrap for this evening?
Going off my Pay It Forward situation, the one that you helped contribute to is this year, because when I did the 5-year collection of the gift cards and it was such a success, I decided to do it again, requesting $10 gift cards for cancer patients. And together, collectively, the Pay It Forward campaign, we donated $1,850 $1,870 worth of gift cards. And then I had a coworker and her mom who had made homemade chemo caps and scarves. They made 70 of them.
My gosh.
So they were donated to my oncology office, and they were actually just donated on October 12th. And I actually had an oncology appointment last week, and the staff there said how the gift cards had really brought a lot of joy to, have been bringing a lot of joy to the patients, and along with the caps and scarves, especially with COVID this year. You know, a lot of, from what I understand, a lot of people's treatment and processes have been kind of delayed, and so I'm sure it's been even more stressful for them. And so the staff was very, very appreciative, and it was nice to hear that collectively as a group, we brought some smile to some people's faces that really needed them, so.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. So, oh God, okay, give me a second, I'm sorry. Once again, my name is Dana Johnson, the host of Pink Table Talk, and I'd like to thank you for being a part of the conversation this evening as well. And we look forward to you joining us again, maybe via Facebook, Instagram, or our Twitter account. And a special surprise is to let you know that our website will be launching, oh no, I'm not saying that right. Our website will be, I forgot the word that I should use.
Launching is fine, but you just basically wanna flow into it, you know.
I know.
At the end, you know, we wanna invite you guys to follow.
Invite you
us on
to take a,
well,
to take a look.
Right.
Okay.
Invite them to follow you on social media,
Okay.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as look forward to the launch of our new website, thepinktabletalk.org.
Okay. See, I can understand. Thank you, Glenn, for being my guest this evening. It was a pleasure to have you.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you. So as we wrap this evening, I'd like to thank you as well for being a part of our conversation. And please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and check out our website that is officially launching. No, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it like that. Okay. I'd like to invite you to look at our website.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't say eventually, because
Because then people will be like, well, when is it eventually?
no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, because by the time they see this, the website.
It may have already launched.
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna thank you again. Okay. All right. So thank you, Lynn, for being my guest this evening. It was a pleasure to have a conversation with you about your journey with breast cancer.
Thank you, I appreciate it as well.
And thank you for being our guest this evening as well. Please take a moment to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And follow our website as well. Oh my God, like this is exactly what happened yesterday. Like I just like freeze about talking about the website. I want people to look at it and I'm excited about it, but I just gotta figure out like how to tell them to look at it. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna like talk it through like with you. Okay, if I was inviting you to look at my website. Okay, yeah.
Saying feel free to check out our website.
Feel free to check it out. Okay, just keep it simple. Okay. All right. Okay. This is why I'm glad that like I picked friends for the first 2 interviews. Okay. Thank you, Jolene, for being our guest this evening and sparking the conversation regarding breast cancer and your journey.
Thanks, I appreciate the invite.
And as we wrap this evening, I'd like to invite you to take a peek at our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. And please take a, oh my God, I cannot say it. Okay, hold on. Okay. You would think I never asked anybody to look at a website before.
Okay, think of it in terms of what you want to do. You want to thank them for watching.
Okay,
You want to invite them,
okay,
okay, to follow you
okay,
on social media. So you
Okay.
get your invite.
okay. In your invite on
Okay,
social
so
media, okay.
Thank you, invite, and please, now you got me thinking like that.
I'd say check out our
Yeah,
website.
And check out our
and
website. Okay.
Check out our website. So
Okay.
invite, but thank you, invite, and check out our website at,
Okay.
pinktabletop.org.
Okay. Thank you, Jolene, for being my guest this evening and partaking in the conversation regarding your breast cancer journey.
Thanks, I appreciate you letting me share it.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank you for joining us as well in the conversation. Please take a moment to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And I'd like to ask you to, oh my God, this is insane.
Check out.
To check out.
And
I'm
just,
going to
they
check
say,
it out.
follow us and please check us out on, on our website.
On
Check
our
out our
website.
website.
Okay.
Just say, please check out our website.
Okay,
at
please check out our website.
teamtaptalk.org.
Okay. Oh my God, you think I never had a conversation with people before? Okay. Thank you, Jolene, for being my guest this evening. It was a pleasure to have a conversation with you regarding your plight with breast cancer awareness.
Thanks, I appreciate the invite.
And I'd like to thank you for joining us today within the conversation regarding breast cancer as well. I'd like to thank, oh my God. Okay, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna look, but I'm not gonna look. So I need to do this because this is like ridiculous. Oh my God. I would be like not happy with Miles right now if he was doing this. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay. All right. Thank you. Just so I can get out of my head. Thank you. Invite. And check out. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm good. Okay. We're gonna be here to 8 o'clock just doing the close. That is ridiculous. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you, Jolene, for being my guest this evening. It was a pleasure to talk to you about your journey through breast cancer.
Well, I appreciate you letting me, inviting me and letting me talk about it. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for having a seat at the table with us. And we invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and check out our website, thepinktabletalk.org, with your host, Dana Johnson. I was supposed to say, and with your host of the Pink Table Talk, Dana. I am your host. Yeah. I should have said that first. So should I close with like saying my name, or should I say my name last? Like, what would make like a better impact? Like, if you were watching like the closing of like your favorite like TV show, or like Anderson Cooper or something. I'm trying to think of like.
Well, I think they usually say, thanks for joining me
Or like-
and the host, and then
You don't have to say your name.
Don't say my name. Okay, cool.
Because,
Because that'll be on there. It's implied.
Well, no, you have lower thirds.
So can I just close with just check out the pinktabletalk.org?
And look forward to seeing you on the next.
Look forward to seeing you.
Invite you to, we'll look forward to seeing you during the next conversation.
Okay.
So, may wanna write that down.
Yeah. You read mine.
So check out the website and look forward to seeing you during the next conversation. Pink Table Talk.
Thank you, Jolene, for being my guest this evening and having the conversation regarding your experience with breast cancer.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
And thank you for joining us for the conversation as well, in regards to what the pinktabletalk.com is all about, our podcast and blog. I don't even know why you said all that, because I know it didn't even there. Okay, I'm just thanking them for joining
I
us
think your
with the
phone
podcast.
stopped.
Oh, I think it stopped. Or somebody called or something.
That's perfect. Still on in the background.
Oh, okay. Conversation. Okay. Thank you, Jolene, for being my guest this evening and just having the conversation regarding your journey with breast cancer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the invite.
And as we wrap this evening, I'd like to thank you for joining me within the conversation at thepinktabletalk.com. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and check out our website, thepinktabletalk.org. Good evening. I just say that, or goodbye, or
What did I just say to you?
I don't know. I look forward to seeing you at the next conversation that I didn't read. I look forward to seeing you during the next conversation with thepinktabletalk.org. Get out of your head like after this, like you can be on the budget. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jolene, for being my guest this evening at the Pink Table Talk. It was a pleasure to have you and to hear your journey with breast cancer.
Thanks, I appreciate the invite.
And thank you for joining us this evening as well at the Pink Table Talk podcast and blog. Please check out our website, thepinktabletalk.org, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I look forward to seeing you at the next conversation on thepinktabletalk.com. I'm good? Yay! I don't know how to go.
So did I ramble too much?
Oh, I thought she was great.
No, you didn't, you guys actually were on point.
Were you intrigued?
The whole conversation, it's just your closing.
He's like, I'm exhausted from the closure.
I mean, I
I'm
actually
getting
stopped
better.